since the pandemic, the Russian labor market has been going through massive transformation, which was accelerated by the sanctions imposed on Russia by the West. The market has moved from limited demand to limited supply, and the situation will persist for quite some time. The forecasts of rising unemployment caused by the withdrawal of foreign business have not come true. So the labor market began to adapt to the new conditions without plummeting employment and surging unemployment. Russia's economic adaptation to the 2022 sanctions caused a massive adjustment at the labor market. Companies adjusted to negative shocks the same as they did in the past. They cut wages and reduced working hours. However, these traditional changes were limited and very short-lived. Rather than moving upwards, overall unemployment declined persistently, dropping to an all-time low of 3.7% by the end of 2022 and reaching the extremely low level of 2.7% in May 2024. So in recent years, employment in Russia has remained fairly stable by consistently drawing the unemployed into employment. Now that unemployment has been squeezed to a minimum, it can no longer be the source of new labor it used to be. A number of statistical indicators suggest the existence of considerable imbalances in the Russia's labor market. The historically low measures of general and registered unemployment are accompanied by a record number of vacancies. In 2022, there was 3 registered vacancies per one registered unemployed person. During the pandemic, there were fewer than 0.5 vacancies per registered unemployed person. The number of vacancies should inevitably start to decline amid an economic crisis. But nothing of this sort has happened. This points to the existence of considerable labor demand in Russia. It is evident that in 2022, the economy's transition to operation in a semi-military mode has drastically changed the structure of labor demand. After the initial shock faced by the companies and even whole industries, new opportunities have emerged for certain players, while others have found themselves in quite difficult situations. Companies and industries have begun a tug of war, trying to attract labor from a limited pool. As not all companies were ready to offer high wages, many of their vacancies have remained unfilled for a long time. Interestingly, the withdrawal of many Western companies from Russia did not have a serious effect on the situation in the labor market. Many foreign players simply maintained employment while activity was suspended, and they finally just sold their assets to the Russian businesses. So one typical feature of the new structure of the labor market in Russia is a sharp increase in gross labor force turnover, up to 65%. Intercompany turnover of the same high intensity was last seen in the late 90s. The Russian labor market has a unique feature of an almost total absence of forced layoffs initiated by employers because of job cuts. In the year 2000 and afterwards, the level was about 1.52%, dropping to the negligible value of 0.5 in later. In 2022, this level still remained unchanged. It means that despite the start of the recession, businesses did not begin to reduce the size of their staff. On the face, the situation seems odd, although there is definitely a certain logic behind it. If it is clear that an underemployed worker will be needed later, his or her working hours or pay are likely to be reduced. There are several reasons for this. First, it is difficult to find workers with the necessary skills in the market. Second, forced layoffs are very costly for employers. And third, there may be a position from regional or local authorities fearing growth in local tensions. As a result, in Russia, the majority of layoffs have always been voluntary, initiated by employees themselves. The aging and shrinking population in Russia will continue to put pressure on labor supply, intensifying the squeeze on it. It is not clear which sources might be used to support it, as the traditional sources have almost been exhausted and there are no new ones. At the same time, it is evident that the corona crisis, followed by the sanctions, have led to considerable structural imbalance. The question is, how do the HR professionals in Russia try to cope with the new phenomenon in the labor market? Before the sanctions, the shortage of personnel in Russia was traditionally associated with a lack of IT specialists. But now enterprises need more blue collars. According to a survey, more than 50% of the companies have a stiff demand for blue-collar employees. A third of the companies compete for sales managers, and 1 in 5 believe that companies will be in dire need of engineers. IT specialists, surprisingly, were only in fourth place in the list of the most sought-after professionals. Experts are of the opinion that the maximum need for workers in absolute terms is fixed in manufacturing, trade and transport. According to the calculations, the Russian economy needs 2.3 million workers, according to the number of vacancies. Of these, 335,000 are in manufacturing, 264,000 are in trade, and 198,000 are in the transportation industry. The demand for manual labor professionals, these include construction workers, installers, turners, welders, and others, increased by almost 1.5 times. Most of all enterprises need supervisors at the construction sites. To compensate for the shortage of engineering and working personnel, companies are fighting for every specialist. They raise salaries, improve working conditions, train and develop corporate culture. Now HR specialists are considered to be jack of all trades. They need to scout, recruit, train, partner with colleges and universities, improve HR brand and care for working environment, craft tactics and strategies for employment. Predicting the needs of the company both in terms of numbers and skills in accordance with the development plans. HR experts are also required to observe the psychological conditions of the workers, offering them counseling, offering them counseling, additional days off, sabbaticals, paid leaves, etc. Anything just to ensure the employee remains with the company. Of course, material benefits such as rising wages, paid medical insurance, recreational facilities remain the main instrument for attracting and retaining workers. Companies are forced to raise salaries by luring staff from each other, increasingly unwinding an inflationary spiral. But under demographic constraints and record low unemployment, this cannot continue indefinitely. So the only way out seems to be to increase labor productivity, invest in modernization and automation of production. More and more companies are trying to use the artificial intelligence technology to increase efficacy of the workers and to replace some professionals such as bookkeepers, cashiers, clerks that are deemed to suffer most from the technological advancement. But for the time being, this has not yet become a trump card in a play against declining demography and acute labor market demands. So this summit gives a platform for people who are employed in HR profession to share the knowledge about the new HR technologies which may, to a great extent, remodify and redesign business environment in India and elsewhere. And of course, the deliberation here will highlight the role of HR experts in unleashing the true potential of the business. I'm sure that the summit will be a big success, judging by the number of professionals who have come here. Thank you so much.
Honorable Consul General of Russian Federation, Mr. N.R. Mani, Convener, FICCI TM HR Panel, Mrs. Malini Saravanan, LND, and all HR leaders from different industries, good morning. HR job is very difficult. I know that. One day it will be boring, it will be rain, next day it will be very hot. In Tamil, they used to say, Padaithal, Kaathal, Azhuthal, that is HR. So first day during the interview offer letter, they will be very happy. If the management says they are not performing well, it will be delivered through only HR. Then they will be scolding and sending mail to everyone. So we are facing this issue. They used to scold HR and blame HR. I know it's very difficult. Anyway, today we are gathered from different industries. They'll be sharing their views, what's happening in HR, what's in the future. When you look back in 20th century, business focused on 4 M's: men, material, machines, and money. Today, the term men has renamed as human resources to reflect the power of human efforts and to avoid male-dominant gender bias in early name. I hope nowadays company prefer taking more girls in the placement. Our placement officer here. Even in academics, the toppers are preferred and they scoring well. We know that money is never referred as capital. The men is referred as human resources, money is referred as capital. These 2 parameters is critical in operating any business, whether it's small or large. Of these 2, human resources, the greatest asset, is indispensable because of the right people we can achieve that factors. HR is the heart of any organization which transforms the results into results. To thrive and succeed in this highly competitive world, companies and HR best practices that give you a competitive edge. The success of an organization is a result of a strong HR strategy that gives a passionate for workforce. Let us take example of ISRO, a public sector organization. Though they cannot compete with space organization in developed countries in terms of salary offered to the employees. I think you are seeing all ISRO's scientists interview. They didn't study in good school, top universities. They won't speak good English, but they are achieving. That's a teamwork. That shows that leadership. ISRO inspires incredible performance through a strong leadership and culture of empowerment, which is the nutshell of the company of best HR best practices. The HR strategy of an organization must align with the business strategy to build a competitive advantage. Today, the talk of the town, AI, artificial intelligence, is transforming almost every aspect of our lives. HR is no exception. From recruitment to performance management and evaluation, AI can streamline process and minimize bias. AI can also play a major role in employee onboarding, employee engagement, and employee relations, compensation management, and workforce planning also. Legal compliance and performance management can also be utilized by AI. But to effectively leverage AI, we need to upskill the existing workforce. This can be achieved through a culture of continuous learning where employees embrace AI as a tool to reach new heights. HR department have an important role in continuous upgrading of knowledge and skill among the workforce. Retention is very important, as our earlier speaker mentioned. How to retain our employees? That's a good idea, having a tie-up with institutions and offering a degree for them to upgrade their profile and knowledge. It will be an add-on idea to retain them. When we consider enhancing customer value to offer a product or service that exceeds customer expectations, HR is an important component. HR plays a significant role in enhancing quality, service, and brand image also. By understanding the customer needs and exceeding expectations, organizations build loyalty and ensure long-term success plan. At the core of this is human resource management. The concept of organizational capability is about aligning people, system, and culture to drive innovation and change. By focusing on learning, collaboration, organization can adopt and succeed in ever-changing world. We have all heard saying, happy employees, happy customers. The great organizations are aware that employees are the internal customers. If the customers are happy, then it's successful. If you treat the employees well, we can see the dramatic boost in responsiveness, motivation, and customer satisfaction. Let us remember that when an organization invests on its employees, they will invest in company success. When we turn to India, we see the critical challenge in environmental sustainability. We experience terrible situation ranging from extreme weather condition to water scarcity. Ensuring the sustainability not only an ethical issue but also good business. We need to invest wisely to ensure environmental sustainability, which will in turn increase productivity. Strategic HR powered by AI, building organization capacity, and commitment to our internal customers are the cornerstones of customer value creation. Let us focus on these areas, embrace sustainability, and ensure successful future for our organization and society. I wish FICCI all the best and hope the participants would immensely benefit from the interaction. I am sure that some of new and ideas will emerge from the end of this conference that will further give a cutting edge to score model. I wish to quote two quotes. First one is a famous author, Mr. Stephen, who said, always treat your employees exactly as you want to treat your best customer. The second one, the famous basketball player, Michael Jordan says, talent wins games, but the teamwork and intelligence wins championship. That's the difference. Each one has a talent, he can win the game. If a team and with good leadership, they can win the championship. HR department should make sure that organization win championship every time. Again, I congratulate this conference, which is going to be very useful for HR employees. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Basically, we were flattered by all your good quotes, the quotations. The icing on the cake is Padaithal, Kaathal and Adithal. Thank you very much on that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to end the inaugural session with a vote of thanks. And I request Mrs. Malani Saravanan, Head HR, III SBG L&T Construction, FICCI TNSC HR Panel, to deliver the vote of thanks. Welcome, ma'am.
Anivarakum Vanakkam. Good morning to all of you. On behalf of Mr. Bhupesh Nagpur, Co-Chairman, FICCI Tamil Nadu State Council and CMD of Indira Group of Companies, I represent here to share the vote of thanks. Let me first thank Mr. N.R. Mani, convener, FICCI Tamil Nadu HR Panel Committee, Head of HR, Lucas TVS. Thank you, sir. He was instrumental in ensuring this conference in place, and also this HR Score Award, which is the third edition, which is being organized today. And second, very important thanks to Thiru Kumar Jain, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Labour Welfare and Skill Development Department, Government of Tamil Nadu. He stressed on the role of HR and the importance of HR professionals in ensuring trained manpower is available to the world outside. There is a lot of demand and supply in India and abroad, and he stressed on the importance of HR in ensuring the workforce are kept relevant, trained, and also stressed on the importance of capacity building, skill development, understanding the aspirations of workforce, and ensuring women are engaged in the workforce and the working conditions changes, which is relevant, which is contemporary based on the demographic dividend. And followed by it, we had a guest of honor, HE Mr. Olive Avdim. Thank you, sir, Consulate General of the Russian Federation in Chennai. He shared his insights on the change in labor market for past, present in Russia and the demand of workforce in Russia and the availability of skilled workforce in India. There are two total dichotomy, he was stressing on that, and the important role played by HR in ensuring skilled workforce are available. And he also mentioned a lot of availability of blue collar workforce in Russia. Thank you, sir, for sharing the insight on Russian market. Third, we had Mr. Dr. G.D. Selvam, Vice President, Vellore Institute of Technology. He shared about the role of HR. Earlier it was 4M, now it is HR, human capital. The role of HR in ensuring human capital is engaged meaningfully, and also they are happy so that they contribute meaningfully for the business results, and also stressed on the importance of HR strategy. Thank you, sir. Thank you all the dignitaries for being with us for the inaugural session and setting the context for today's session. Thank you. And very important thanks to all the delegates, HR leaders, professionals, consultants, college institutions for being here. And finally, thanks to the title sponsors, gold sponsors, associate sponsors, knowledge partners, print partners for being with us, and wish you all a great learning experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With this, we are coming to the end of the inaugural session. Thank you very much to all the dignitaries.